All seams of Altro flooring must be heat welded. Applying caulking or sealant in the seams instead is not an approved method. The adhesive must set for 8 to 24 hours to allow the adhesive to complete the initial cure. Otherwise, the wet adhesive will contaminate the weld, causing failures at a later date. Contact-type adhesives can be welded after 1 to 4 hours. Ensure the color of the weld rod is correct, and then cut to the length of the seam, with a bit of extra at either end. Ensure the spatula is sharpened with a 35-degree beveled edge, which sits flat against the flooring. Avoid cutting the weld rod directly onto the floor. Preheat the welding gun and leave for around 15 minutes to properly heat up. Always perform a test weld on a scrap piece of flooring. Starting at one end of the seam, lower the heat gun tip to the flooring while inserting the weld rod into the tip. Using light pressure, move the heat gun down the seam in a slow, consistent backwards motion, making sure there is no contact between the metal heel tip and the flooring. A round profile welding rod is for welding flat seams. If you're scorching the floor, move slightly faster or turn down the heat. The rate of speed should be about 3 linear feet per minute. Watch for the wash forming on both sides of the weld rod. A wash is where a small amount of flooring material comes up either side of the weld rod during welding. If you don't see a wash, slow down and/or turn up the heat. Allow the weld to cool for 5 minutes or more before trimming. Insert the spatula into the trim plate with the beveled edge downward and trim off the top portion of the weld rod. Then, place the beveled edge of the spatula directly against the floor and trim the remainder of the weld flush with the surface of the flooring. A good weld should make full contact with both edges of flooring being welded together. Once you are happy with your test weld, move on to the floor proper. In coved installations where the flooring transitions up the wall, use the X-Acto blades to trim the weld rod flush with the coved radius areas.